that particular issue, first of all?
Well, I mean, the source of all the terrorist activity in Syria has been the Assad regime since day one. And the Assad regime has declared openly by the advisor to Assad and also the UN representative of Syria that the YPD, the PYD or YPG, is actually part of the Syrian army, official army. So that is very problematic to all Syrians to begin with. And that has caused a lot of instability to the region, not only to Turkey, but we definitely, as Syrians, recognize the need for a stable and secure Turkey in order for the region to be restabilized.
Now, we've gone through a number of days where ceasefires are meant to happen, they haven't happened. Do you see any hope that one's going to happen in the coming few days? We've got a few days until the next round of talks are due to begin.
Well, there are currently talks between the Russians and the Americans, and unfortunately the killings have escalated in the last week since the alleged cease of hostilities in Munich statement. And just during the Geneva talks in January 28 to February 1st, almost 61 people were killed only in these 4 days. And since then, over hundreds of people were killed across Syria. And the shelling have not ceased at all by the Russian Air Force, but also by a lot of the militias that have aggressively fought in a very, very severe manner to basically kick out all of the Syrian populations from the Aleppo suburbs and Aleppo city to the borders of Turkey, and thus even furthering the pressure on Europe. In that sense.
Well, Ammar, and I mean, that's really the crux of it, isn't it? That while all this talking is going on in various European cities, the people of Syria are really suffering. What needs to be done to try and help those people in Syria? And what does the international community do?
A serious political transition that would seriously take out the Assad regime and remove it from power and establish a stable and political system that is all-inclusive and all-Syrian. According to the Geneva Communique in 2012. Let's go back to the original Geneva II rather than all of the Vienna talks that have deviated from the original plan that the Syrians have accepted. And the Syrian armed groups have even been very cooperative in terms of agreeing to a cease of hostilities and a ceasefire, provided that the source of all terrorism, the illegitimacy of the regime, of the Assad regime, is not put back on the table, that it's over, that the Syrian people are over with this phase in their life, this period of the Assad regime rule. And this is unfortunately what's happening, is that they're putting back the Assad regime as a partner in fighting and countering extremism and terrorism, and that's very problematic.
Well, Ammar, Kahf, thank you very much for coming in. A very complicated situation, but thank you for doing your best to unpick it for us. Thank you. Now, Ugandan opposition leader